Hi, my name's Robert Duffy. I'm the CTO at HealthEdge. So HealthEdge is on the beginning of a very, very strategic and large move to AWS as our cloud provider. And as part of that, we're really looking at FinOps from the beginning as a way to think about how we can do cost optimization, cost control, not just for the cloud platform, but obviously for all the different software as a service tools that we have. And then as we think about AI and the leverage of the AI tooling that we have available to us within AWS, we really want to put in place a firm foundation of cost visibility, cost control, cost optimization right from the beginning. So it's a very exciting journey for us. And I think what I've discovered in my career is many times when you walk into a cloud native environment or a company that's adopted the cloud, they haven't thought about FinOps from the beginning, and they have to sort of add it on afterwards under pressure, because normally the costs are kind of getting out of control, and you have to kind of bring FinOps to an environment that's out of control as a control mechanism to try and make sure that things are stabilized and in control. What we're trying to do is do it right from the beginning. So as we move all of our infrastructure, we have some on-premise, we have some in Azure, we have some in Google Cloud, we're moving all of that to AWS. And as we do that, we're taking our engineering teams through a cloud-native transformation, we're taking our businesses through a cloud-native transformation, and we're also taking our finance and FinOps practices through a transformation too, so that we can really establish that cloud cost control super early in the process. I am so excited about going all in on FinOps. I think we have internal platform teams that we are currently struggling to figure out, like, how do we build those internal platform teams and shared services teams back to our internal customers. I think beyond cloud, we can definitely leverage it for our internal billing systems. We have a lot of software as a service, very excited about using FinOps principles on our software as a service portfolio. And then as we think about AI is a massive area of investment for us, and how to control, allocate costs, and really think about how AI costs are shown back and charged back to some of our business customers, and how our customers are consuming it is really critical for us. And I'm very, very excited to go all in on FinOps for every scope that we possibly have. Even as we see data center costs burn down because we're moving now to the cloud, we're going to put some FinOps practices in there just to make sure that the cost of things previously is now the new cost, and we have some transparency around that. So we are very excited, and I'm very personally excited about this expansion of the FinOps principles into these other areas, these other scopes, because I think it's going to enable us to bring this incredible amounts of rigor to our spend across these other areas. The reason I think that AI is one of the most interesting scopes right now is that we are seeing a lot of productivity gains from agentic systems. And now we're seeing areas of the business and personas within the business that traditionally might not have been involved in any of the product questions, like HR, finance, people operations. We're seeing product operations. We're seeing the sales team. We're seeing the customer support team. These are sort of business units that traditionally might have bought some commercial off-the-shelf software. They're now seeing the power that we're able to get from agentic systems and AI tooling, and they're like, hey, we want some of that. You guys have Fire. We want Fire. Like, how do we get some of that? And how do we build technology? And how do we build technology for internal use cases? And what is the business case for that? What is the ROI? How much will these agents actually cost us? How much will it cost to run on your platform? How much will it cost to do the development? And those are kind of new personas that would have traditionally bought commercial off-the-shelf software or leveraged plugins or whatever in their systems that they're using. They're now coming to us for R&D and product development on AI and agentic systems, and asking all the questions that the product organization normally asks and the engineering organization normally asks, right? Like, hey, what does it cost? What is the forecast? What is the projection? What is this going to take? So those are all new personas, and they're all coming to this brand new AI and agentic systems that I think is new for everyone. But for these other business departments and other business units, it's a whole new world. I think for me, the future of FinOps is really a world where all of our costs can be allocated effectively, they can be controlled, we can look at forecasting, budgeting, we can really see all those domains and capabilities in a very granular and data-rich way, and we can apply it to more scopes than we currently have. I think I just see this horizontal expansion. There's no CFO that I've ever worked for that doesn't want more accurate, more granular data usage. It's a little bit like Amazon asking, do you think customers would ever want their package delivered slower? I think the same thing is true for finance, business teams, engineering, product teams. They never want their data more inaccurate, right? It's always like more accurate, more granular, more tagged data. And as we see this proliferation of tooling, and we see this migration of work from humans to AI and agentic systems, I think that particular AI and agentic scope is going to really blow up in terms of FinOps practices, just because that's where the work is going. I think if I think about cloud migrations, FinOps was sort of born out of this cloud migration thing where people were moving stuff from on-premise infrastructure, capital expenditures onto, cloud-based OpEx, and really needed a way to understand what's happening in this cloud-native way. I see AI and agentic systems having the same impact, but on the migration of work from humans to AI and agentic systems. And I think that's going to come with all of these same questions around, like, what is the actual consumption? I mean, we have an AI and agentic system right now that is writing product requirements documents, PRDs, from initial prompts from a product manager. It writes a PRD to our spec. It has another agent that reviews it. Then it has an engineering manager agent, and then a security agent that does all these step-by-step reviews of these product requirement documents, and then spits out a fully fledged PRD ready for an engineering team to consume. And the engineering teams review it and they love it. But the amount of usage you can consume versus I can consume, even with the same prompt in that system, is vastly different, right? And it can be very costly sometimes for trivial things. You have these agents that are calling other agents, that are calling other agents. Sometimes you lose context and you don't really understand where all this cost is getting allocated to. So I think the future really is getting our arms around these agentic systems where the costs can be very, very variable from different personas and different inputs, and really understanding okay, we shifted, this agentic system shifts 2% of human work from a human to an agentic system, but what is the cost differential, right? Like how much does it now cost in this agentic world versus how much does it now cost in the human world? And I think that is a very, very nascent field right now, and I think it's massively analogous to how when we moved stuff from physical infrastructure to the cloud, we had exactly the same questions and exactly the same situations, and the FinOps framework evolved in order to help us understand that, get our arms around it, forecast it, budget it, etc. I think we're going to see the same evolution in this AI and agentic world.
Hey everyone, producer Andrew here. Thank you so much for watching and for your support. For more FinOps content, go check out our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and leave comments and questions for all of our wonderful speakers. We appreciate your support.